always helpful when we can anticipate tornadoes, but sometimes the setups just sneak up on us. And that's what happened with the deadly College Park tornado.
We have a guy that's coming right towards us.
At 5:22 p.m., the tornado struck.
Look at the tree. Oh my, holy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, Sumant is going to turn on the tower and the data will begin flowing directly to the National Weather Service.
The Maryland Department of Atmospheric and Oceanic Science is primarily a research and teaching department, but by partnering with Maryland Department of Emergency Management on building the state's Mesonet, we are trying to fulfill an important obligation of service to the state.
The Maryland Mesonet is a high-density network of weather stations across the state. At the end of implementation, we should have 70 to 75 stations. This would be between 2 and 4 per county.
Historically, all the weather measurements that have happened in Maryland have either taken place once per day, or at airports, they're usually taken once per hour. What we're doing now with the Mesonet is we're collecting data every 3 seconds and then averaging that data and transmitting it every minute. All of our data goes straight into the National Weather Service. Wind speed, temperature fluctuations, etc. That's getting into the hands of the people who can issue the warnings fastest. Cool, all right, data looks great. The Princess Anne Mesonet site. Here at the University of Maryland, we have a great Department of Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences. The nice thing about having the HydroNet is a different project than the Maryland Mesonet. However, we share a lot of the same goals and cooperate with HydroNet very extensively. They also are housed in the same building as us.
A suite of instruments,
sure.
Right?
HydroNet is essentially a water level sensor network built out of low-cost water sensors, water level sensors. They just measure the height of the water. Our coastal regions are dealing with more significant flooding than we have in the past, and there's these data deserts all across the bay where there's no observations going on. What we're trying to do is identify these areas that, through community engagement, we know are dealing with a lot of flooding, but we need continuous monitoring.
I want to thank each of you for being here today in Annapolis for the unveiling of our Maryland HydroNet. The initial goal of this effort is to deploy a low-cost water-level sensor network.
The impacts of sea level rise are a constant concern, and every time there's a report of storm surge, there are a lot of questions coming into our office. Is it going to be this high? Is it going to be that high? I know just where it has to be to flood my house or to flood my business.
We have nuisance flooding, between 80 and 100 days a year. What impacts the museum the most is the tidal flooding. If the tides go above 3.5 feet, water comes in the building. We've had a couple 100-year floods in the last 4 years where we've taken in 18 to 20 inches inside the building. We understand that the frequencies of the floodings are going to happen more and more. So the likelihood of this being our long-term home is not very good.
Does that look like a decent placement to you?
Yeah, it's high enough. Keep it out of the 5-foot floods at least. Yeah.
You can't solve a problem if you don't have the information that you need to come up with viable solutions. The information that we're collecting isn't about someone like me writing a research paper. It's about getting this information to the hands of emergency managers, communities. As opposed to someone having to drive around to see if something's flooding, they can actually go to our website and just pull up the data to see how high the water level is at any given time.
So is it connected?
Yeah, they see it in a way.
And then how long before the data are publicly accessible?
3 days, it should be on the website.
Great.
The investment in the Mesonet and the HydroNet is really an investment in the community, whether it be through safety, financial stability, or community resilience.
The Maryland public can feel assured that with the Maryland Mesonet being in their local communities, when the warnings do come out, it's for a good reason.
Through HydroNet, I actually get to talk to people firsthand and say, okay, what are you dealing with? This is important to me, actually going out and talking to the communities and trying to find a way to make our communities more resilient.